The stars shone brightly against the dark canvas of space as the UESF Dauntless patrolled the outer edges of the solar system. Captain Alan Wright sat in his command chair, sipping the last of his coffee. It was another quiet day beyond Neptune's orbit, just the way he liked it. "Captain, we're picking up something strange," said Lisa Chen, the sensor officer. Her voice broke the calm of the bridge. "It's big, sir. Very big." Wright put down his cup. "How big are we talking about?" "About 3 kilometers long, sir, and it's slowing down." The bridge fell silent. Humanity had never encountered an object that large that could change its speed. Wright pressed a button on his chair. "Admiral Coleman, this is Wright. You need to see this." Admiral Patricia Coleman had seen many things in her 30 years with the United Earth Space Force. She had fought in the Mars independence conflict and helped establish the colonies on Europa. But nothing had prepared her for the sight on her screen. The alien ship was smooth and silver, shaped like a long oval with strange bulges and lines across its surface. It had stopped just beyond Neptune, waiting. "Get me Dr. Green," she ordered, "and alert the president." Dr. Samuel Green was woken by the call at 3 a.m. As Earth's top expert in possible alien languages, he had spent years creating systems to talk with any life forms humanity might meet. He never truly expected to use them. "They're trying to talk to us," his assistant Ben Kelly said, showing him the strange patterns coming from the ship. Green studied the signals. "These aren't random. There's a clear pattern." He worked through the night, feeding the signals into his computers. By morning, the alien ship had sent more messages. Green was shocked when his computer started to make sense of them. "They're speaking English," he said in disbelief. "They're speaking English." President William Porter called an emergency meeting in the White House. Around the table sat the top military and science minds on Earth. "How is this possible?" Porter asked. "How can they speak our language?" Dr. Green cleared his throat. "They say they've been listening to our TV and radio for decades. They call themselves the Galactic Council, a group of 132 different alien species." Admiral Coleman leaned forward. "Do they come in peace?" Before Green could answer, all the screens in the room turned on by themselves. On them appeared a figure that looked almost human, but not quite. Its skin was pale blue, its eyes too large, and it had no hair. "Greetings, people of Earth," it said in perfect English. "I am High Arbiter Zix Thaler of the Galactic Council. We have come to welcome you to the galactic community." Porter stood up. "On behalf of Earth, we welcome peaceful contact." The alien smiled, but the expression didn't reach its eyes. "Your world has now entered Council space. As per our laws, all new species must be assessed and classified." "Classified?" Coleman asked. She didn't like the sound of that. "Yes. To determine your place in our order." The alien paused. "We will send a team to your planet. Prepare for our arrival in 3 Earth days." The screens went dark. Porter looked around the room. "Opinions?" Dr. Green spoke first. "They're advanced, clearly. But why didn't they contact us sooner if they've been monitoring us? And why wait until we expanded throughout the solar system?" Coleman added. Secretary of Defense Olivia Harrison tapped her pen on the table. "I don't like it. Classification sounds like they're putting us in some kind of box." "Nevertheless," Porter said, "we will meet them with open minds." But he looked at Coleman. "Keep our forces ready, just in case." 3 days later, a small ship broke off from the large one and headed toward Earth. Humanity held its breath, watching the visitors approach. First contact had arrived. The Council ship landed on a clear day in Geneva. World leaders and military officers stood in a line as the door opened, and 6 aliens walked out. High Arbiter Zix Thaler led the group. Behind him came aliens of different shapes and sizes. Some looked almost human. Others had extra limbs or strange skin colors. "Welcome to Earth," said President Porter, stepping forward with his hand out. Zix Thaler looked at the hand, but did not take it. "We will begin our assessment now," he said coolly. Dr. Elizabeth Daniels, head of Earth's diplomatic team, moved next to Porter. "Of course," she said with a smile. "We have prepared rooms for you and—" "We do not require your accommodations," said Zix Thaler. "We will work from our ship. Bring us your leaders of science, military, and resource management." Over the next week, the aliens met with humans from all fields. They asked many questions and took many notes. Defense Secretary Olivia Harrison sat across from two council members in a plain white room. The aliens showed her pictures of Earth's weapons and asked about their power and numbers. "Why do you need to know about our defense systems?" she asked. "All species are evaluated on their ability to protect themselves," said one alien. But Harrison noticed they seemed most interested in how much damage Earth's weapons could do. Major Frank Martinez volunteered to give blood and tissue samples. The medical officer, Dr. Paul Baker, watched as the aliens took more samples than seemed necessary. "It's like they're studying us as test subjects, not as equals," Baker whispered. Martinez nodded. He had been in enough combat situations to know when someone was sizing up an enemy. In another room, mining company boss Heather Ward showed maps of Earth's resources. "These areas have the most iron," she explained, pointing to spots on a map. The council member made notes. "And the uranium deposits, the rare earth metals." Ward frowned. "Why do you need to know about those specifically?" The alien smiled without warmth. "For a complete assessment, of course." Dr. Daniels met with President Porter in a secure room that was checked daily for listening devices. "They're cataloging us," Daniels said. "Our weapons, our resources, our biology. This isn't a friendly visit." Porter nodded. "Admiral Coleman reports their main ship is scanning our entire planet. Dr. Green thinks they're mapping everything." "There's something else," Daniels added. "I've been watching High Arbiter Zix Thaler when he doesn't know I'm looking. He seems disappointed by some of our answers." "Disappointed how?" "Like we're not giving him what he wants to hear." She paused. "I think they're looking for weaknesses." Dr. Green and his team worked around the clock to learn more about the Council. They were given limited access to the aliens' database as a cultural exchange. "Look at this," Green said to his assistant Kelly. "There are hundreds of species in the Council, but the records only go back about 200 years for most of them." Kelly frowned. "That's strange for a group that claims to be thousands of years old." "And look here," Green pointed to another screen. "Each species is given a category number, but they won't tell us what these categories mean." On the 21st day, High Arbiter Zix Thaler called for a formal meeting at the United Nations. "We have completed our assessment," he announced to the room of world leaders. The room grew quiet. Everyone waited. "Humanity has been classified as Category 4. Emerging technological species with militant tendencies." President Porter stood up. "And what does that mean for us?" Zix Thaler's face showed no emotion. "It means you require supervision and guidance. It means you must contribute to the greater galactic community." He paused. "It means you will provide tribute." The word hung in the air like a storm cloud. No one spoke for a long moment. "Tribute?" Porter finally asked. "Yes," said Zix Thaler. "And we will now explain what that entails." The United Nations Hall was filled with world leaders and reporters. Everyone waited to hear what tribute meant. High Arbiter Zix Thaler stood at the podium, tall and cold. "Category 4 species must be guided," he said, "for your own good and the good of the galaxy." President Porter's face was stone. "Please explain what you mean by tribute." Zix Thaler pressed a button. A list appeared on the big screen behind him. "First, Earth will provide 5,000 tons of uranium, 10,000 tons of rare earth metals, and 20,000 tons of titanium each Earth year." Shocked whispers filled the room. These amounts would empty Earth's mines in decades. "Second, all new human technology must be shared with the Council for approval." Dr. Green, sitting in the back, wrote notes quickly. This meant humans couldn't develop anything without Council permission. "Third, Earth will provide 100,000 humans each year to work on council projects. The room erupted in anger. This was not tribute. This was slavery. President Porter raised his hand for quiet. And what do we get in return? Zix Thaler smiled his empty smile. The Council will protect Earth from outside threats. We will share some approved technologies. We will allow you to keep your governments. He paused. This is very generous. And if we refuse? Asked Porter. The alien pressed another button. The screen showed images of planets burning, cities destroyed, people running in fear. These worlds also refused at first, he said. They changed their minds after our pacification measures. Those who lived, that is. The room was silent now. The threat was clear. You have 14 Earth days to prepare your first tribute, Zix Thaler said. We will return then for your answer and your payment. With that, the aliens left the hall. In a secret bunker under the Rocky Mountains, Earth's leaders gathered. This is slavery, shouted the African Union President Kwame Mensah. We cannot agree to this. Do we have a choice? Asked EU President Sofia Novak. You saw the images. They can destroy us. Admiral Coleman stood up. No alien force will take human slaves while I breathe. But can we fight them? Asked Russian Premier Nikolai Petrov. Their ships are far beyond our technology. Dr. Daniels had been quiet until now. I've studied their words carefully, she said. They keep saying how generous they are. But true generosity doesn't come with threats. Dr. Green, what have you found in their database? Porter asked. Green pulled up his notes on a screen. I found records of other Category 4 worlds. Over the past 200 years, 23 planets have been classified like us. And where are these worlds now? Coleman asked. Green's face was grim. 18 are listed as depleted resource zones. 3 are marked as labor source exhausted. Only 2 are still active tribute worlds. The room fell silent as everyone understood. Once the Council took all they wanted from a world, they abandoned it. There's more, Green added. The Council is actually much younger than they claim. The oldest records go back only 250 years. So they lied about being thousands of years old, Porter said. What else are they lying about? Across the world, humans prepared. Some built bunkers. Others packed to flee to the colonies on Mars. Many prayed. What no one outside the secret bunker knew was that Earth's best minds were working on a plan. Captain Wright led a small team onto his ship, the Dauntless. With him were Science Officer Dr. Jason Hughes and a Special Ops team. Our mission is simple, Wright told them. We need to get onto that alien ship and find out what they're really planning. This is strictly volunteer, added Major Martinez. We might not come back. No one left the room. Then let's move, Wright said. We have 10 days before they return for their tribute. The Dauntless left Earth that night, engines dark, heading for the massive council ship that waited beyond the moon. The UESF Dauntless moved silently through space. Its engines were off, and it drifted toward the giant council ship like a piece of space rock. They haven't spotted us yet, whispered Lieutenant Susan Clark at the radar station. Captain Wright nodded. Maintain course. Dr. Hughes, are your sensors ready? Dr. Jason Hughes checked his equipment. Ready, sir. If we can get close enough, I can scan their ship. The plan was simple but dangerous. Get close, scan the alien ship, and slip away without being seen. Back on Earth, world leaders continued to argue. We should fight, said General Diana Garcia of the Pan-American Alliance. She pounded her fist on the table. Better to die free than live as slaves. With respect, General, said Chinese President Liu Wei. Fighting a war we cannot win is foolish. Perhaps we can negotiate better terms. President Porter shook his head. From what Dr. Green found, the Council doesn't negotiate. They take what they want until nothing is left. Dr. Daniels had been studying the Council's demands closely. There's something strange about their request for human workers, she said. Why do advanced aliens need human labor? Slaves are always cheaper than machines, Admiral Coleman said bitterly. But not more efficient, Daniels pointed out. There must be another reason. On the Dauntless, they had reached scanning range. Dr. Hughes worked quickly while the ship drifted. I'm picking up something, he said. Their energy readings are off the charts. And look at this. He pointed to his screen. Captain Wright frowned. Are those weapons? Yes. And they're aimed at Earth. Major cities, military bases, power stations. Major Martinez looked over their shoulders. They were planning to attack all along. Suddenly, alarms blared. We've been spotted. Lieutenant Clark shouted. Full power to engines. Wright ordered. Get us out of here. The Dauntless shot away from the Council ship as energy beams fired after them. Karen Murphy worked in a lab deep underground. She was NASA's top engineer, and now she led a team studying the little they knew about Council technology. Look at these communication patterns, she told her team. They all use the same base frequency. Her assistant, Joe Bell, looked up from his computer. If they all use the same system, then they all have the same weakness, Murphy finished with a smile. In the secret bunker, the debate continued. Now it was not about whether to fight, but how. The Dauntless hasn't reported back, Admiral Coleman said. We have to assume the worst. Just then, the door burst open. Captain Wright walked in, his uniform torn, followed by Dr. Hughes and Major Martinez. Captain. Porter stood up in surprise. What happened? We got caught, Wright said. But not before we found this. He handed a data drive to Dr. Green. Green plugged it into the computer. Images appeared on the screen. These are weapon systems, he explained, all aimed at Earth. They were never planning to wait for our answer. The attack was already scheduled. For when? Asked Coleman. The day they returned for their tribute. The room fell silent. Then we have 8 days, Porter said finally. 8 days to prepare our defense. Sir, Wright said, there's more. We'd managed to capture one of their smaller ships during our escape. Dr. Hughes found something important. Hughes stepped forward. Their ships all use the same communication system. It's their weak point. If we can disrupt it, we can blind them. Coleman finished, a glint in her eye. Porter looked around the room at the faces of Earth's defenders. Then we have our strategy. We will appear to cooperate until the last moment. What then, Mr. President? Asked Dr. Daniels. Porter's face was hard as stone. Then we show them humanity doesn't become slaves. Not now. Not ever. We need a simple, clear response, Daniels said. Something they can't misunderstand. I have just the word in mind, Porter replied. The next 7 days were the busiest in human history. All across Earth, people worked without stopping, but most didn't know why. They were told it was a global defense drill. In her lab, Karen Murphy hadn't slept in 3 days. She and her team studied the alien ship that Captain Wright had captured. The communication system connects everything, she explained to Admiral Coleman. Their weapons, shields, even life support, all use the same network. And you can shut it down? Coleman asked. Murphy smiled. Better. We can send our own signal through it, a virus that will freeze their systems for exactly 10 minutes. 10 minutes isn't long, Coleman said with a frown. It's all we'll get. Their system will adapt quickly. Coleman nodded. Then 10 minutes is what we'll use. In a different lab, Dr. Hughes worked with Major Martinez to study the Council's biology. Their skin is sensitive to ultraviolet light, Hughes said, much more than ours. And their hearing range is higher. Martinez nodded. So bright lights and high-pitched sounds will stun them. Exactly. We can't match their technology, but we can use their biology against them. Dr. Daniels met with Dr. Green to craft humanity's official response. It has to be clear, Daniels said. No room for misunderstanding. Green nodded. And it has to buy us time for Murphy's plan to work. They wrote draft after draft, finally settling on a simple message. President Porter addressed the world on TV and radio. He didn't mention the Council's true plans or humanity's secret defense. "We face a challenge unlike any in our history," he said. "But throughout time, humans have faced those who would take our freedom. Our answer has always been the same." Across Earth, people listened. Some were afraid. Others were angry. All waited for what would come. In orbit, the UESF fleet gathered behind the moon, hidden from the Council's main ship. Every warship Earth had was there, along with hundreds of smaller fighters. Admiral Coleman stood on the bridge of her flagship, the UESF Liberty. "All ships report ready, Admiral," said her communications officer. "Good," Coleman said. "Now we wait for their return." In the secure bunker, Earth's leaders gathered one last time. The vote was unanimous. "We fight," Porter said simply. Dr. Daniels presented their official response, a single word on a data device. "Simple, clear, unmistakable," she said. Porter nodded. "This is what we'll deliver when they come for their tribute." The day arrived. The Council sent a smaller ship to land in the same place in Geneva. This time, only High Arbiter Zix Thaler came out, flanked by 4 guards. A stage had been set up with cameras broadcasting to the world. Crates labeled uranium and titanium sat nearby. A line of 100 people stood quietly, as if ready to be the first workers. President Porter walked forward with Admiral Coleman, Captain Wright, Dr. Green, and Major Martinez behind him. "High Arbiter," Porter said formally, "Earth has prepared its response to your demands." Zix Thaler looked pleased. "I see you have chosen wisely. The tribute appears ready." "We have also prepared this," Porter said, handing over the data device Daniels had created. "What is this?" the alien asked. "Our official response. Please, view it now." Curious, Zix Thaler activated the device. A single word appeared on its screen. His face changed from satisfaction to shock. "This is your answer," he demanded. "This single word." "Yes," Porter said firmly. "That is humanity's reply to your demands for tribute." Zix Thaler's face twisted with anger. "Then you have chosen destruction." He raised his hand to signal his ship, but Admiral Coleman was faster. She pressed a button on her wrist. Across the solar system, Murphy's team activated their virus. And all over the world, hidden weapons emerged, aimed at the sky. The battle for Earth was about to begin. The moment Admiral Coleman pressed the button, screens around the world showed the same image. It was the word that President Porter had chosen as humanity's answer to the Council's demands. The word was simple: no. High Arbiter Zix Thaler's face twisted with rage. "You dare refuse the Council," he shouted. "You will watch your cities burn." He raised his hand to his ear to give orders, but nothing happened. His guards looked confused, tapping their own communication devices. "What have you done?" Zix Thaler demanded. Porter smiled. "We've given ourselves a fighting chance." At that moment, the fake tribute crates burst open. Soldiers with special weapons jumped out. They fired devices that made high-pitched sounds. The Council guards fell to their knees, covering their ears in pain. Major Martinez grabbed Zix Thaler. "You're coming with us," he said, pulling the alien's arms behind his back. In space, the Council's main ship suddenly went dark. Murphy's virus had worked. All their systems were frozen. "All ships, attack now." Admiral Coleman's voice boomed through the radio. "We have 10 minutes. From behind the moon, Earth's fleet appeared. Hundreds of ships raced toward the much larger Council vessel. Captain Wright led the first wave in the Dauntless. "Target their weapon base first," he ordered his crew. "Then their engines." Earth's ships fired everything they had. Missiles, lasers, and special EMP bombs hit the Council ship from all sides. In cities around the world, smaller Council ships appeared, ready to attack. But they too lost power when the virus hit. General Garcia commanded Earth's ground forces. "All units, move in now," she ordered. "Capture those ships before they reboot." Teams of soldiers rushed the alien vessels with UV light weapons. The bright lights blinded the Council soldiers, who couldn't fight back without their powered armor. In Geneva, Porter watched as Zix Thaler was secured. "You must stop this madness," the alien said. "The Council will send more ships. You cannot win." "Maybe not," Porter admitted, "but we won't surrender without a fight." Dr. Daniels stepped forward. "Tell your forces to stand down, and we can talk about peace instead of tribute." Zix Thaler laughed. "Peace? There is no peace with lesser species. Only rule and obey." Dr. Green had been quiet, but now he spoke up. "You're lying, High Arbiter. The Council isn't what you claim." "What do you mean?" Zix Thaler asked, suddenly nervous. "We found records in your database," Green explained. "The Galactic Council is only 250 years old, not thousands. And it's not a union of equals. It's an empire built by your species, using others for labor and resources." Zix Thaler's blue face turned pale. "You could not have accessed those files." "We did," Green said. "And we've sent the truth to every world in your empire." In space, the battle continued. Earth's ships had caused serious damage to the Council vessel, but time was running out. 2 minutes left before their systems come back online, warned Lieutenant Clark. "Focus all fire on their main power core," Wright ordered. As Earth's ships attacked, the Council vessel began to show signs of life. Lights flickered on. 1 minute, Clark called out. Wright gritted his teeth. "Keep firing." Back in Geneva, Porter's phone rang. It was Admiral Coleman. "Mr. President, we've done serious damage, but their ship is rebooting. We need to pull back before they can fire." Porter looked at Zix Thaler. "Call off your forces, or this goes further." "Never," the alien hissed. Porter nodded to Dr. Hughes, who stepped forward with a device. "This sends a signal that will trigger flashes of UV light inside every Council ship," Hughes explained. "Your soldiers will be blinded and in pain." Zix Thaler's eyes widened. "You wouldn't." "Your choice," Porter said. "Peace or pain. What will it be?" The alien looked at the faces around him. For the first time, he seemed uncertain. Time was running out. High Arbiter Zix Thaler looked at the device in Dr. Hughes' hand. His blue skin had turned almost white with fear. "You have 10 seconds to decide," President Porter said. The alien's shoulders dropped. "Stop. I will order them to stop." Porter nodded to Hughes, who gave Zix Thaler a communication device. The alien spoke quickly in his own language. In space, the Council's main ship stopped powering up its weapons. Smaller ships around Earth also went still. "All units hold fire," Admiral Coleman ordered the Earth fleet. "But stay ready." The next 3 days were filled with tense talks. Zix Thaler sat at one side of a table with 2 Council members. Across from them sat Porter, Coleman, Daniels, and Green. "For centuries, my people have used the Council to control others," Zix Thaler admitted. "We find worlds, classify them, then take what we want." "And the workers you demand?" Daniels asked. "Some are used for labor, but mostly, we take them for their genetic material." The humans looked shocked. "My species cannot have many children," the alien explained. "We use DNA from other species to help us." "Without asking," Porter said coldly. Zix Thaler looked down. "Yes." Outside the meeting room, world leaders waited for news. The story was the same all over Earth. Council ships had been captured or disabled. Earth had won the first battle, but everyone knew more Council ships could come. Karen Murphy worked with Dr. Hughes to study the captured ships. "Their technology isn't actually that far beyond ours," Murphy said. "They just have more experience with space travel." "Can we defend against more ships if they come?" Hughes asked. Murphy nodded. "Now that we understand their systems, yes, and we can build our own versions." On the 3rd day, Porter emerged from the meeting room with a document. "We have reached an agreement," he told the waiting leaders. He read the main points. 1. Earth is now classified as a sovereign protected zone. No council ships may enter without permission. 2. Zix Thaler will provide the locations of all other worlds forced to give tribute. 3. Earth will lead a new alliance of these worlds, free from council control. 4. Any attempt to attack Earth will be met with the complete release of all council secrets to every world in their empire. 1 week later, the first human ships left for the stars. Their mission was to contact other worlds that had been forced to serve the council. Captain Wright commanded the lead ship. With him were Dr. Green, Major Martins, and a crew of Earth's best. Our first stop is Proxima Centauri, Wright told his crew. According to the council records, there's a Category 4 world there still paying tribute. Not for long, Martins said with a smile. Admiral Coleman stood with President Porter, watching the ships leave Earth. Do you think Zix Thaler will keep his word? She asked. I think he knows what will happen if he doesn't, Porter replied. But just in case, we keep building our defenses. Dr. Daniels joined them. I've been thinking about our response, she said. One simple word changed everything. Porter nodded. Sometimes the most powerful statements are the simplest. No, Coleman said with a smile. It's a good word. Clear. Strong. And it reminds us of something important, Porter added. Throughout history, freedom has always begun with someone saying no to power. Across the galaxy, news spread quickly. The mighty council had been stopped by a small blue planet, a world that had refused to bow down, a species that had said no in order to submit. Other worlds began to wonder if they too could say that word. On Earth, humanity looked to the stars with new eyes, not with fear, but with hope and determination. They had faced their first galactic challenge and stood firm. The council had demanded tribute. Humanity's reply had been a single word, and that word had changed the galaxy forever.